What's up guys, Javier from That Racing Channel. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to give you an update on the R32 GTR. I know it's been a while since you guys have seen this thing, but it's been for good reason. We've had a lot of changes. We have a bunch of performance upgrades and go fast bits. We've done some safety stuff. Today we're here with Andre. We're going to go over some of the changes that are going to help us continue deeper into the 8s. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, we're going to give you a shot of the engine bay here. And we got a new bad boy 8085 precision turbo on it. Super stoked for that. How do you feel about that, Dre?
Oh no, you kind of cut me short on this one. Really big time. I've been asking for a
You
big
wanted
one.
The 8385 forever, right?
Yep, and you met me halfway and gave me an 8085.
Hey man, so, but I'll tell you, this one's rated for 1600.
I don't know, we're gonna find out.
You ready for that?
No, we're gonna find out. I don't know.
This is Precision Turbo's latest and greatest, next gen bad boy. I mean, a couple of guys that we know have put this on, and it's been magic so far. So I mean, it's rated for 1600, obviously like flywheel, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Let's find out.
I know, you know, it survived 1.0, so now let's see if we can get us through the 2.0 version of the setup.
And besides the turbo, obviously you guys can see the pretty wild turbo manifold that Ralphie 2J Truck made for us. So one of the reasons being wastegate priority, now running a 60 mil wastegate. We were having those boost creep issues and everything where we were trying to go 8s.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, the new exhaust setup that we got going on. We still maintain the same EGTs that we ran on the last manifold. You guys do know when a turbo sat here, it was really restricted with space, especially for our wastegate efficiency and stuff like that. So with the RB30 block and the R32 chassis, we're able to kind of move the turbo further away from the engine and give us a little bit more clearance to run a good size wastegate. One of the things that we did add is that we added in a back pressure sensor, so that one of the things that we weren't able to monitor on the last setup that we'll be able to monitor now. The other greatest thing is that we went to V-band. It's a lot easier to work on, a lot cleaner. It'll help us out in the long run when we got to service it, and a lot more compact, and it helps with weight too. We're trying to control the weight on the car, so we did reduce a lot of weight on top of that.
This is a heavy girl.
Oh yeah, that back housing, and everybody knows, ever touch the precision
this
back
thing's got to make a ton of power to get to where we want to go.
Oh yeah. Move the turbo up front, you know, get a little bit more cleaner air coming in, trying to touch that 180 miles an hour, so Javier says that this turbo is going to give me.
And quick shout out to our boy Andrew over at Motive Video. He sent us this really sweet headlight scoop, and unfortunately they didn't have the carbon headlight ducts in stock, but our friends over at Technographics in Fort Lauderdale, Florida were able to hydro dip it for us to give us that carbon look. Should be getting some nice clean air going into the turbo. We'll probably make some sort of inlet here to go directly to the turbo, but it's looking pretty sweet. Appreciate it, Andrew.
I remember when we were trying to run that night we were trying to run an 8-second pass. We tried to take the factory headlight out, and it was a disaster. So we just said, we're just gonna leave it in there. We're gonna go ahead and try and make that hit, and we made that hit, ran 8s. So now, you know, we're back here now and still continuing that journey of trying to get more air into the turbo, and this is one of the pieces that we really appreciate from Andrew. Oh
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, what were the IATs on that pass?
On that pass,
we were really struggling with.
Oh man, we were up there. I think 157. We were up there and still climbing,
yeah,
going right through the traps.
Yeah.
Right, and we weren't at the boost levels where we needed to be at, so that was one of the data points of what we really looked at to put us where we are right now in 2.0.
So that's definitely going to help. That scoop's definitely going to help get some fresh air in there. And on that note as well, we got a new bad boy Garrett intercooler core here. I mean, it's huge. Like, you can see there. It's not the biggest, one of the biggest ones they make. I think this is their 1300 core, I believe.
Yeah, their 1300 horsepower core. Definitely that's going to help out a lot. Last setup was kind of temperature sensitive on horsepower. So now with this new core that we put in there for 1300, it should take care of it. Hopefully it'll work out well for us.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Stoked.
One of the things you guys might notice as traditional, we went ahead and take off the power steering pump. We had issues with it flying the belt. We decided that we still wanted the car to continue to have power steering. Obviously, running the drag radios in the front is a disaster, and we still want to keep it that street mod kind of thing. So we're gonna end up putting an electric power steering pump from the Toyota MR2. We're trying to fit it in the best places possible for the car. It's either, most likely it's probably gonna end up going into the back when we run the lines up front, or we try and fit it up into the front. But that's the next obstacle that we have right now during the construction phases. We want to keep AC inside of the car, so right now that was another issue that we had where the belt was flying off of the AC compressor. We don't want to put the AC compressor back on, so we're probably going to go electrical in the future. I did pick up an electric power steering pump that we're going to be experimenting with to see how it works out. I'll show you guys in a little bit, and we'll probably mount that in the back also. So this guy right here is a Toyota MR2 power steering pump. I think you guys never really saw a Nissan go fast without a Toyota part. So this would be that Toyota part that makes the Nissan go fast. It's been proven. I have it inside of UD. It works out very, very well. Still use the controller on it, so we'll get this mounted into the car rather than the front side or the back side. I picked up a electric compressor. We're going to experiment with this also to make sure that it works and it's good enough and get it mounted onto the car, but that's going to probably be later on after we get the car back up and running, but we do want to keep the AC inside of the car. So wrapping around, going towards the front, we had a mechanical fan on there, belt driven with the factory shroud. To save more space and weight and free up some horsepower on the motor, we decided to put electrical fan Spool. We'll show some more pictures of that in the next episode, but as right now we're fitting it to make sure and getting all trimming and all that stuff to get to fit in there really, really well. So we'll be going over to electrical fan. All
right, so now in the interior here we got some awesome changes going on. So we got some safety stuff. Ralphie 2J Truck did a super clean cage for us. So we got a roll bar, and so we can mount a harness. We also got a parachute in the back, we'll show you in a sec, but our boys at Motion Raceworks got us set up with a handle and a line for the parachute. So got to get that all mounted, and yeah, looking good, Dre.
Yeah, did you cover the seats?
Actually, I don't know if the guys have seen the seats yet. So we got these at some point last year, but we got rid of the factory seats so we can slip the harness through there. Added rigidity. These seats have been working out really awesome. And then coming around to the back here, you can see we went through the speaker hole here. So we don't want to really like cut up the car or anything, so that goes into the trunk, and we've got a nice parachute mount here. It's gonna look wicked, man. And we didn't cut the bumper either. We did it so we can cut a hole in the license plate, keep it, maybe we run this thing on the street.
Camera mount.
Pull a shoot on somebody.
Looking at the video right after you did the 8-second pass, you can see how you're really trying to stop the car from doing that 160 pass. So we put the parachute in just for safeties. I think you're gearing down the motor just to get the car to slow down at the end of that pass.
Yeah, I mean this car is heavy compared to, like, I mean, back in the 240, when I had my 240, I think the 240 is 800 pounds lighter than this on a similar pass. I did a 7-second pass with just a basic brake setup, and I could brake no problem. You can really feel the weight of the car, even only at 160 miles an hour. So I can't even imagine 170 miles an hour.
170 miles, yeah, crazy, right? And speaking of that, we did upgrade the brakes based off of that right after the event. We did. We need to show that now, the brakes that's on the front of the car.
We haven't showed the brakes either, yeah.
No, so we updated that, taking everything in consideration, everything that we've learned, putting all the fast bits in there, as Javier calls it, and now we're putting some safeties in there to protect them because we still need them. I still need them. So it's going to be a good round two. It's gonna be real good. It's very exciting. Can't wait.
Hell yeah, man. All right, guys, and one of my absolute favorite changes that we've made to the car, we put TE37s on this thing. I've always wanted a set of TE37s for one of my cars. I've never run them on anything before, so I was so freaking stoked when I was able to find a set of these. They're super hard to come by now. Got to give a big shout out to our boys over at vividracing.com. Without them, we would not have got these wheels. I searched everywhere high and low for these things. I think they found us one of the last sets that were in stock in the US, I believe, but so stoked. This is going to be obviously the street wheel for the car, so we got some Toyo R888s on them. They should work really well for, you know, running 800 or 1,000 on the street or whatever it might be. So we still have the stock Skyline 16-inch wheels with the Mickey Thompsons on them for when we take it to the track, but I think it looks so good on these TE37s, so can't wait to get everything together and go out and do some photo shoots and get some really sick shots. So another update since you guys last saw, we did a set of Willwood super lights. So not only does it perform way better, but they save a ton of weight in the front as well. So I don't think they actually sell this kit for the Skyline specifically, but we bought these basically spec'd out for an S14 chassis, and they bolt right up. And these will still fit with the stock OEM 16-inch wheels that we have our drag tires on, so it's gonna work out really well.
Next steps, got everything mocked up. We're going to continue with a little bit of miscellaneous fabrication that needs to get done. We haven't decided on which back pressure canister we're going to end up using yet. It's either going to be between the Tarks or the Field Tech. We're going to mount it somewhere inside of this cubby hole on the firewall. Along with that, with the link, we kind of maxed out all of our inputs of receiving data in, so we got to put an expander on it. So one good thing is Link is not really prejudiced against anything, so we're going to end up using the ECU Master canvas system that they have. That's going to help us give us an expansion of about 8 more digital and analog inputs to allow us to add more sensors in, which will accommodate for the back pressure.
And that's a really cool unit, because when you're looking at adding additional inputs, typically you're like, I need to get a dash, or you know, a couple companies sell expanders. They're pretty pricey. I mean, so how much was that? It was pretty affordable, right?
All in, this one right here probably cost us close to about 350 bucks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really huge saving. Just give us 8 more additional inputs and outputs. So it's really cool as far as an expansion. Just want to thank you for RKDE, who really helped out with the 3D printing of the casing and the connector to fit the ECU Master switchboard. So this is the ECU Master switchboard, and then RKDE manufactures 3D printing with this connector and circuit board that it goes down to. This is great because I could mount this inside of the engine bay, probably here in the corner, and wire my sensors directly into this and relays directly into this, even the boost controller itself, and then just run 2 wires out of here, canvas, down into the link, and it will free up a lot of inputs and outputs instead of having to hardwire it in and build it into your harness. After all that stuff is done, we're just gonna go through the fuel system and wash it out, get the filters clean, injectors clean, because it's been sitting for a while, get the car started back up. Then we're gonna go out and see what our butt dyno tells us. Check out the stability and the boost, see the differences that we have, and see where we're at from there. But definitely gonna be good results.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. We appreciate you guys tagging along as we continue our journey to go deeper into the 8s. We'll see you guys next time.